Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with a Russo-Turkish War Battle Series, using the Russo-Turkish War mod. Today we are departing from the Balkan front and moving to the Caucasus front, and we are starting by looking at the Battle of Avliar at the Avliar-Aladzhy mountains, east of the fortified city of Kars. It's a major battle in the Caucasus theater, as the Russian army moves to lay siege to Kars, which they've done many times before. The Russian general Melenkova has about 56,000 soldiers and 220 guns. When I say guns, I mean cannons. He's being faced by the Ottoman general Mukhtar Pasha with about 37 to 38,000 men and 74 guns. It should be said here at this point, it was quite hard to actually find information about this front side of the front, because most of it was actually either in Russian or in Turkish. I was about to say Ottoman, but in Turkish. So, and also the map. Hopefully, I kind of showed. I couldn't actually find this battle marked on the map, but I'll show the city of Kars, and you kind of get an idea of what we're going for. Anyways, an addition to that is that, as always, I should point out that this is not to be intended as a reenactment. We are simply taking the variables of historical battles and, as best as possible, implementing them into Total War using mods and so on. But there's limitations on maps, on troops and so on. But to the best of our ability, this is how it would go. And when I say how it would go, we of course put no restraints on ourselves in terms of how we fight the battle, so it could have an ahistorical outcome. With all of that said, let's jump into it and take a look at a field battle for once. I think we should start off by taking a look at my position and my troops. Now, I will be attacking, but let's quickly go over what I've done. So, I've got my troops divided into 3 sections, as the map is kind of divided into 3 sections. I've got the left flank consisting of 1 light troop, followed by 3 infantry, and then 3 colonial cavalry. We've got center group, 1 rifle, 1 light infantry, as it were, 3 units of colonial infantry, and the howitzer to back them up, and then the right flank, which is 3 Cossack infantry, led by 1 unit of rifles, followed by 3 units of Don Cossack, and then over here I've got the general down in the corner, mostly just because I didn't want to. I was going to put him in the center, but I didn't want to put him next to the howitzer because that was going to receive artillery fire right off the bat. So here we've got my position, so you kind of get an idea of that. Plan was to attack through either of these sections, hopefully break through on one of the flanks, hopefully on the right flank, because here we actually have the high ground overlooking, and if I took that I would be able to fall down upon the Ottoman player, rather than, say, if I gone through here. It's also the easiest place, I think, because if you look at the ground, they've got this impassable terrain, or this high mountain here, which is only accessible through here. So they could have troops up here firing down upon me as I would try to advance, and then it's high ground, so we would have go uphill, and then there's a forest and stuff like that. Through the center, you can imagine there could come fire from all sides, especially since the forest kind of arcs in a half circle like this, so it could be firing down upon from all sides. So going attacking the center, like pushing at the center, would be nasty. So even though also on the right side there's the hill becomes very high, so pushing up through that would be difficult, but they don't enjoy the same kind of flanking fire opportunities, because this hill is actually accessible through my side and not through theirs, and he wouldn't be able to retreat down if he placed any troops there, so this would actually be in my favor. And then the forest over here offers some protection, but it's too far off to actually sort of play any part in defending the hill. And there the battle is off. We can go and take a look at the Ottoman's position. So he's placed 2 troops over here, followed by 1 cavalry. Then we have 1 cavalry over here, followed by... We've got 2 units over here. Oh, I still have it on slow motion. The howitzer are about to start their fight. There's a bit of a gun battle here in the start. I almost lost the gun battle, as I recall, early on. I get some good hits early on, but damn, there we go. There's 1 good hit that like takes out almost 40 crewmen, and I got really worried there right off the start, losing that many men. Anyways, if we continue to go through the Ottomans before he moves too much. 2 units on the left, cavalry. Then another cavalry to back up the center. Now it's moving off to the right. 2 Egyptian line infantry flanking the howitzer. You can see how that's a bad position to march at. He's marching 2 Egyptian line infantry to hold this hill. And then there's 1 Egyptian line infantry over here. And then there's 2 cavalry units. There's lots of units hidden, of course. So this is not his entire army that is being seen. So he has lost 90 men or 30 men, while I at this point has almost lost 50 men over at my artillery base. He's going though to not continue to push and try to destroy my cannons. He's gonna start and shooting at my cavalry, aiming for the Don Cossacks moving on the right. I imagine he's focusing on the right because he has actually placed most of his troops, as I recall, down on the left, and he doesn't actually have that many on the right, which means that I will be able to push on the right. But the thing is, as you know, the artillery can absolutely wipe out troops, so it's kind of difficult. Also, I think that I am a little bit sluggish in my response to different movements. I should say here, the battle turned out very even. Surprisingly even, I'd say. Well, maybe not surprisingly, but in the first battle we did, I would say that if that had not crashed, I might have even lost that one. Because I made quite a few mistakes. So at this point, I'm moving in to assault the right position here. There's some howitzer shots coming in, trying to break up my formations. I'm lucky enough to not suffer too much from the artillery, but they do kill quite a lot of troops. I'm moving the rifles to take up position here at the hill, so I would be flanking my advance, so I would be able to set up and shoot at the troops there. At the same time, the infantry will march up and line up and then move on the hill. My Cossack cavalry gets slaughtered by artillery fire. So he really focuses in on them, while I continue to hammer his artillery. Which I'm not entirely sure, in hindsight, it might not have been that great of a plan, because you know, there's so many troops actually manning the cannons to sort of be able to uncrew all the cannons. You would have to hit quite a lot, and also with them dug in, it's almost impossible to get direct hit and actually destroy a cannon. But as we can see, because I am continuously firing on his cannons, what the hell? Ottoman Superman is just rushing to get killed. I'm not sure what he's doing. Is he gonna get killed? Okay, he did have super speed, so it's the Ottoman Flash. Is he gonna get killed though? Gonna get sidetracked here watching Ottoman Flash. He's not that fast in fighting though. Well, quickly here we compare. So 56 men, while I... Oh, 45! Jeez, I didn't remember losing that many men. I don't move that much on the other fronts. I'm moving more troops over to the right, as I can see a possibility there. But we'll quickly just take a look at what's going on here a little bit. I started focusing my cannon over here just to push them back a little bit. But I am not focusing that much on the troops. On the center and the left flank, I'm focusing mostly on the right flank here. So at this point, yes, I started targeting this because I got a plan. I had a plan that I would use these guys to drag fire out of this and also put down artillery fire and kind of break this unit. I would concentrate what's left of all my cavalry, joined in by the colonial cavalry over here, and then I would focus a massed cavalry charge, break through the flank, go back around, get at his cannons, at the same time push here and push away the enemy troops. But I think I kind of misclicked or something, because the cavalry charge take quite a while to actually materialize, and in the meantime he's able to actually see it and focus in artillery fire and destroy us. I should have called off the attack, because these guys started firing, and then there's a light unit that coming out of the woods there. So it takes too long for the colonial cavalry to get off to charge in here and join in the fight. Plus with the light infantry over here, meaning that they will slaughter the cavalry. I'm pushing up the infantry as well, and I do believe we move up rifles to kind of try to take care of these guys at the same time. But it does not really go that well. My soldiers here, the Don Cossacks, were defeated. I'm still sending my troops, hoping that I will reach the enemy cannons. But the rifles plus the fire from over here means that only 14 cavalrymen reach the cannons. I still reach the cannons and temporarily stop them from firing, but the unit is shattered almost immediately. So a huge fail on my part. Lots of troops being lost. I'm trying to follow up here by moving in my infantry, plus pulling down artillery fire here. At the same time we got cavalry coming around, attacking the light infantry. I want to really badly get rid of them. Thing is though, they're getting counterattacked, not that great. So right now it certainly doesn't look too good for me. The Ottomans still have a good position on the hill, and I am not doing well. An almost unopposed cavalry charge goes into the Cossacks. However, the Cossacks hold really well. I'm surprised at how well they held against the cavalry charge, and they end up actually winning that. Then also my cavalry there that went after light infantry failed. However, the enemy following after, the Ottoman cavalry, gets shot down. So it's kind of turning around a little bit, but it's kind of in middle of the road here. He's pushing up his infantry at the same time. I believe he's actually gonna go, if I remember correctly, he actually does a melee charge here. I'm moving over, I'm switching over troops from the oh no, this one was part of the center attack. I just moved it closer to this side. So it's kind of a stalemate over here. At the same time I'm actually pushing over on there's so much going on. I'll have to excuse me while I won't be able to cover it all, because it goes so quickly. So we're moved in at the same time over here. We have a big cavalry fight. Not going too well though, because we're gonna get stuck. And there's an Ottoman light infantry unit firing from the back here. I'm trying to move in infantry, My idea was this infantry unit would move behind and shoot down these. I didn't know we had a light unit hiding in the woods there. Absolute destruction for this unit. Not gonna go well. It's going a little bit better over here, where my 2 colonial units are doing well at this one, but yet again a light unit turns up. Light units are absolute, I mean, they destroy in such an unprecedented way. Stalemate still at the center. Looks though as I have more infantry if I'm only able to push through here. Going back over here, the enemies sent in 2 big bayonet charges, which meant his undoing, and I won the fight. So at this point I have control and I won the right side of the battle. I've moved in the general to support the amount of troops I have here. And I still have these 3 Cossack units, which are now going to start bringing down the fire on the flank of the enemy. We have a light infantry over here that's still causing quite a bit of trouble. I do have my guys up here. And as we can see, we're pulling off a bayonet charge against the Ottoman's cannon position. Now he's lost 4 cannons and he's down to 23 men, but still 8 cannons firing, and given how deadly they are, we risked it. I was a bit worried that the light infantry would kill them off, or that this one would target them. Now they shatter just like the cavalry as they get through there, and while I don't actually kill that many, but the thing is, I keep up my artillery bombardment of the area. So there's only 12 guys left at this point. And now my general comes flying in. He's tired from just riding that bit. So it seems like cavalry gets really tired in this mod. And before the rifles are able to do too much damage, the general is upon them and he's riding down the enemy. And he's gonna ride down the remaining cannon crew, and I believe I'm gonna continue on and target this unit. At the same time, I'm pushing forward what's left here of the light infantry and this unit over here. I'm now targeting the hill because they're moving in to flank me as I continue to push forward over here. I have 2 units of infantry. The unit over here was murdered, as we can see. Most of the cavalry was murdered as well. Only thing that was left of that cavalry fight is this Ottoman cavalry unit that is dismounted. I realized I wasn't going to be able to... I wasn't going to lose, and what I realized was that I was dying over here. And I wasn't going to lose any more units against the light infantry. So I pulled this one away. And we're going to re-establish line. And I'm gonna see if I can focus my light infantry on theirs. Oh yes, now I remember. What I do here is I actually turn both of these around, so they both make line towards the hill, and they're both able to put down fire on that one unit on the hill, while the light infantry starts skirmishing with these guys. With the forest in between, soaks up most of the bullets. At the same time, we do have a few Ottomans left here in the woods. 73 of them, 68. But they're about to get crushed because I have this one big unit of light infantry. As soon as they get shooting... the cannons are actually killing them. So we quickly take stock at this point in the battle what we have. What's left of the Ottoman is this unit right here, which is now broken. So at this point what's left is the cavalry unit and 1 unit of light infantry, while I have this unit of light infantry of 193. I have 2 units over here, 1 of 75 colonial infantry, 100 over there. We have another one at 63, another rifle unit 186. I have the general and then the 3 Cossack units. This is a vast improvement. The thing was, the battle crashed, I think, twice before we actually did that. And in each battle, I improved my result. So for each one, so in the first one, as I said, in the first one, we were actually down. I think I was still gonna win the first one, but we were down to like both just having like 2 units each. The key point in that first battle though was that I still had my howitzers left. So eventually I would have won, I'm pretty sure. If I'd... But I was kind of playing a little bit... I was thinking I would play a little bit fair by not using it that... But the battle crashed. So we didn't really get to know who would win the first one. Second one, I think, crashed pretty early on. So there wasn't much to say about that. And this third one was the one that stuck. But it was interesting to actually play a field battle. We haven't done a lot of them. It's mostly been one side attacking fortified positions. And at this point I kind of play a little bit with the last unit. And I am going to send in the general. He's exhausted. I'm gonna like let the general try to charge down the light unit. Doesn't go too well, and he ends up dying. Thing though, at this point I kind of end up playing with him for quite a while. Let's go ahead and speed this up. So I mean, I have won, there's no question about it. It's just that I'm toying with the Ottoman player right now. And I'm losing tons of men needlessly. That entire unit was annihilated. I don't think that... I think that just happened in the replay. I don't think in the actual battle I lost an entire unit. Or at least I hope I didn't. And it also seems as though... Yeah, I sent in the cavalry. I sent in my general. And he got shot down. I think the replay is not working as it should. It's departing from what actually happened at this point. Because the general did die. I remember sending him down. I sent the troops away and I let the general ride them down. It could be that he still dies. There's only 18 men left. But given that the general is so tired when he's coming in right now, he could very well still end up dead. So there's 141 against 18 Ottomans. I was pretty confident sending in my general here at the last moment. But the thing is, he's at full speed here, charging forward. Let's see if I can find where the actual general is. There he goes. He's dead. I think we started off at 141, if I remember correctly. So we'll lose about 40 men approaching here. Just 18 enemies. And then when we get there, we're so tired. And these guys are fresh. So we aren't immediately like causing a rout among the light infantry. So that was kind of a huge fail. Half the unit gets killed on the way there. And then we're so tired that we can't even break this unit. So it takes quite a while until the light infantry actually goes and retreats. But yeah, there we have it. Next battle is gonna be... We're gonna follow this up by doing the siege of Kars. As best as we can, of course. And that, my friend, is gonna be an absolute bloodbath. Looking at the statistics here, we can see I deployed about 800 men more. Now, when I mentioned the statistic earlier, the Russians outnumber them by quite a few thousands. Like, we were talking about tens of thousands of troops, like 20,000, I think. 20,000 troops, roughly, because the Ottomans had an estimate of 38,000 to 87,000 No, not 87. 37 to 38,000 troops, while the Russians are quoted as having 56, so that's 20,000 men more. But we decided to play it a lot more even. In terms of casualties, we're quite even. There's only about a 300-man difference. In terms of team kills, I inflicted about 600 on myself, while the Ottoman player inflicted about 600 as well, maybe closer to 700, so it's quite even there as well. A lot of it, of course, being from the artillery. In terms of kills, the rifles absolutely destroy. Now, I do think the howitzers should end up higher. There's no way the howitzers only killed 274, but you can kind of see how the rifles, in the right kind of position, can absolutely slaughter with their insane accuracy and rate of fire. Very much OP. And then we can follow, then next to the rifle comes the Cossacks, which was my successful attack on the right. I think the Cossacks probably have quite high melee stats, and that is why, both in the first Battle of Pleven, where they were attacked by cavalry and a Bazi-Bazouk, they were able to, one single unit of Cossack, they were able to withstand that, and here where they were able to withstand superior numbers of Ottoman troops charging in bayonet at them, plus a little bit of cavalry. I mean, one of the units tanked a cavalry attack head on and still lived to tell the tale about it. So the Cossacks seem to be very good at melee. If we go down though, there's quite a few units that didn't do so well, namely the Cossack cavalry. It's almost the single digits for two of these, and they were absolutely, I mean, two of these units were absolutely destroyed. In total, the Cossacks only killed about, what, that ends up at 23 men, while losing almost like 400 men. Same for all cavalry. There's very few of the cavalry units that actually get a decent amount of kills compared to the size of the unit. So cavalry got absolutely murdered. But I think if you use them more correctly, because they don't have the same punch as in other games and other Total War games, I think if you use them more correctly, it could work better. I was kind of using them like a sledgehammer when they aren't really strong enough for that, and especially trying to attack head-on on these kind of rifle units means just absolute massacre. With that said, let's go ahead and end it right here. Next one, as I said, will be the very, very bloody Siege of Kars. You should not miss that one. That's an absolute carnage, and will blow the entire thing to pieces. A spectacular battle, if nothing else. But with that said, I say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.